Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Paul Pogba has hinted at a Manchester United exit, and what I would say first of all is, look, international break always throws up these sort of things. There's a few sayings that people may have heard of. Loose lips sink ships, loose lips, big hips. So eating food, big hips. Loose lips sinks ships, I think was to do with World War II, blabbing off and giving up secrets. When I grew up, loose lips meant swollen lips, because if you gobbed off, you probably got a smack in the mouth. But Paul Pogba's loose lips on international duty, basically, the quote is this. There's my future is currently at Manchester United. I still have a contract. I'm playing there at the moment, but who knows what will happen in the next few months. And there are other quotes. Talking about his relationship with Mourinho, we have a pure coach-player relationship. That's right. Obviously, it's a strained relationship, but there's a professional relationship there. And one thing I can assure you, I will always give 100% no matter who the coach is. I always give 100 everything for United. I cannot say more. This is not good. This is not good from Pogba. Look, it's not good. It's not acceptable. It's not good. Loose lips on international duty always happens. I think journalists rub their hands together. Players get away from the confines of their club. They go on their international duty. He starts hanging around with his high-five dabbing mate Griezmann, and he starts blabbing off because we know Paul Pogba's not happy. But this doesn't help Manchester United. What I want to say first of all is, though, I don't want to see... Well, I can't drive either way here, but we're back on the trip to Cornwall again. But you know what I mean? I know people are reacting badly to Pogba, but can I just say this? If Pogba doesn't like Mourinho, and Mourinho can't get the best out of Pogba, why is that Pogba's fault? If Pogba doesn't want to play for Mourinho, but wants to play for Manchester United, he's got a problem. There is an impasse. Something's got to give in this relationship between Mourinho and Pogba. So it's very easy to say, oh, get rid of Pogba, this, that, and the other. And I do agree with some people to a certain extent, because I don't think it helps what he's saying. But if he's not happy with the relationship with Mourinho, then of course he's going to be looking elsewhere. That is life. Can you really argue with him? We say week in, week out that he's not getting the best out of Pogba. This isn't the real Paul Pogba. Well, what if Paul Pogba's sat at home? He's done his dabbing for the day. The selfie stick's broke, and he's like, I'm not getting the best out of me. And the best of me is on bloody FIFA 18. He's not getting the proper Paul Pogba. So maybe Pogba's in that situation where he wants to look elsewhere because of Mourinho. Now, Mourinho's probably trying to get the best out of Pogba. And I think there's an amicable situation where they can sort this out. But we don't know the severity of the situation between those two parties at the moment. But by no means does it help the situation when Paul Pogba says, and these are his words, I still have a contract, I'm playing there at the moment, but who knows what will happen in the next few months. I cannot say more was another quote, and I'll always give everything for United. I mean, it's just 100% betrays what many people have said. How many weeks ago was it? 3 weeks ago, we were talking about Neil Custis in The Sun saying that Pogba and Mourinho had a fallout. And everyone was like, oh, it's The Sun, it's Neil Custis, a load of rubbish. There is an issue between Pogba and Mourinho. We know there's an issue. But this is something, yet again, on international duty that just adds flames to the fire. And if Pogba is trying to force his way out of Manchester United, he's going a very good way about it. But the danger now is that Pogba is starting to lose United fans. And I think that's really sad, because I like Paul Pogba. And that's why I'm trying to say, look, I'm not saying... it shouldn't be Mourinho or Pogba. That we're adults, most of us. It shouldn't be Pogba or Mourinho. It should just be what's best for Manchester United. And secondary, what's best for those people. The best thing for Manchester United is Jose Mourinho performing to the best of his capabilities, i.e. the best manager in the world, which he has proven he can be. And Paul Pogba performing to the best of his capabilities, World Cup winner, leader, playing at the top of his game. We're not getting any of those things at the moment. And I don't like the quitting mentality. I don't like the thing, well, it's not working, let's get rid of one. I would rather we find a solution here. So I think it's very, very dangerous for Manchester United fans to start taking a pop at Paul Pogba. As I've said, if Pogba wants to leave Manchester United, I'll pack his bags with him. If he misses Lingard that much, he can go in the suitcase. You can have him at weekends, dancing and stuff. I joke about that, but you know what I mean? They can just Skype each other. Don't know what I'm on about. It's 2018. They can dance via Skype. But in all seriousness, if Pogba wants to go, let him go. But I don't think he necessarily does. I think you read between the lines. I'll always give 100% whoever the manager is for Manchester United. The issue is Mourinho. I think if Pogba had Zidane in charge at Manchester United, or Pogba was at Barcelona, he'd be happy. So I'm not saying it's all about Mourinho and United. Yeah, maybe he would be happier elsewhere, back at Juventus, at Barcelona. But I think we've got to work really, really, really hard to make this situation work at Manchester United. We've got a player that's clearly not happy. How do we make him happy? Well, we don't make him happy by turning on him when we don't know what the full story is. I've always said about Pogba, he's not happy at Manchester United. His agent keeps chucking stupid stuff out, whether it was about Pep, whether it was about Scholes. Pogba's never come out and said anything public about that. Pogba very rarely comes out and says anything positive about how happy he is at United. I think he can be happy at United. I think he wants to be happy at United, but I think Jose Mourinho and Pogba's situation is really, really perilous, and it needs some leadership to sort it out. We're not getting the best of Paul Pogba. As I've said, the Brighton performance was one of the worst performances I've ever seen from a midfielder in a United shirt. Against Spurs, it was slightly better, and Burnley, I think it was average. I don't think he was that good. So we're not getting the best of Paul Pogba. Is that because Pogba doesn't love Mourinho? Because if you're playing for somebody you don't like, yeah, you can have the player-coach relationship that he talks about, the professional relationship. But if there's no love, where's the passion? And that's true in life. So I do worry about the Pogba situation, I really do. But I want to know what a lot of you want to say. Hazard wants to say that he's Pog shit. Pogba, says Nabul. Get rid, says the Ghost. All these fake United fans that want Pogba out, go support Liverpool, says it's against. Passion, you see. The problem is that he can't think for himself and does what Riola wants, says Mega Thrash. Pogba is a £50 million player, overrated by United fans. Cut the crap about him being a World Cup winner. He was good because he has the likes of Kante playing alongside with him, says Henry Bob. I agree with you on that. I think Kante made Pogba great, but why not get a player like that to play with Pogba? Maybe Fred could be doing that. So I agree with that. But Pogba's not a £50 million player, and Pogba's not overrated by United fans. I think most Manchester United fans are probably more honest about Pogba than any rival. I mean, I think maybe a Liverpool fan likes to call him Pog flop and everything like that, but I know loads of Liverpool fans who would love Pogba at Liverpool, and they would justify it with Klopp will get the best out of him. I think Arsenal would be the same. A lot of clubs would like Paul Pogba. I think the most realistic people about Paul Pogba are Manchester United fans who say, you know what? He hasn't fulfilled his potential. He isn't the player we know he can be. And maybe he never will be. Maybe the problem is Pogba. We talk about, we can't play in a midfield two. He can't play in a three. Can't play with Sanchez. He's got to play to the right. He only works in teams where they're playing expansive. Well, I tell you what, I've always said this. You stick Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, David Beckham, whoever from United's past in a Stoke City midfield, they'd still be the best player on the pitch. You stick Messi in the MK Dons, he'd still be the best player on the pitch. Class rises to the top. You're not a world-class player if you're defined by systems. But, you know, I'm a firm believer that there's always two sides to a story. Massively naive of Paul Pogba to set to... The big thing is there's a number of quotes, but the one that bites and irritates, I agree, is who knows what will happen in the next few months. No player in September should be saying that. It's unsettling, it will annoy fans, it will irritate the club and the manager, and it is petulance at its very best. And this is a World Cup winner who is in his mid-20s, who is, you know, arguably the most marketable footballer in world football at the moment. For him to say who knows what's going to happen in the next few months in response to I've got a contract at United at the moment, it's antagonistic and it's inflammatory. It's going to cause a reaction and it's going to irritate. So he's either very clever or he's very stupid, because I can't stop United fans reacting how they are on social media, on our live comments. It is. And I even had people defending him saying, well, you're not reading all the quotes out, Mark. Well, I am reading the full quotes out. Yes, it's there. We have a pure coach-player relationship. That's right, talking about Mourinho. And he goes on to say, I'll always give 100% for United, but I cannot say more. Well, yeah, but he's still saying who knows what's going to happen in the next few months. I don't think anybody's saying that he's not going to try in a United shirt, but leaving it like that, wide open. And as we spoke about on Monday night, a few months' time is January. Barcelona signed Coutinho in January and he couldn't play in the Champions League. If they sign Pogba in January, he can play in the Champions League because the UEFA have got rid of that rule. So It's not what Manchester United need. It's not what United need. It's funny enough, I was just planning out on my diary this morning all the games for United between now and Christmas. And, we've got some difficult runs of games. And what we need is all hands on deck. All mans to the pump. Let's go for it collectively. And if you haven't got that, if you've got splinters, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt. And I think United haven't had the greatest start. We need to come back. We need to bounce back. We need to be united and we need to start getting results. How are we going to do that when there's a player, the most iconic player in the team, and a manager who don't get on, and the players saying things like, I might not be here in a few months? We hear about these cliques, the Pogba, Rashford, Martial, Bailly clique, which was rumoured to be at the start of the week, which I think is nonsense, but there will be cliques. And it's a very difficult job for Jose Mourinho to deal with that when you've got dissenters and you've got the power of the modern footballer who can just wander off onto an international duty away from the confines of United and start blabbing off with things like that. But I think Pogba is ill-advised. I think just keep your gob shut. Don't talk about who knows where I'm going to be in the next few months. He's not even saying who knows what's going to happen in future seasons. He's saying the next few months. That is massively, massively disrespectful. And he's got to be careful about that because he will lose fans. Heath Farley says, no matter the situation, stop feeding the media. Exactly. I totally agree with you, Heath. It really is. Just keep your mouth shut. I mean, people suspect that there is an issue between Mourinho and Pogba, but keep your mouth shut about it. But I want to fight for Pogba. I think this can be turned around. I have to respect, because the United stand is about every United fan's opinion. And some people will be like, get rid of Pogba and they'll turn on him. Some people will be backing him. I'm backing him. I mean, he's a Manchester United player. He's not going anywhere till January. I think, maybe Mino Raiola is a bad influence on him. What he said today is not ideal. And it's certainly not what United need after a very difficult start to the season where there was seeds of positivity against Burnley only a few days ago, and now that's gone again because we're talking about iconic Pogba and basically opening up those wounds with Mourinho again. And Jose Mourinho, wherever he is, maybe he's out having a walk with Fellaini because Fellaini's come back from Belgium. I don't know. But, he'll be there, arm round Fellaini saying, what do I do? Why doesn't he love me like you do? Why can't we have this relationship? And who knows? Who knows why? I mean, this is a good point. Why do you think Pogba and Mourinho don't get on? Because it was just because he subbed him off against Spurs. I'd have subbed him off after 20 minutes against Spurs back in January. I'd have subbed him off against Brighton, was way worse, and he's given him 90 minutes. And then he dropped Fred next game and played Pogba. I think Pogba's being treated very, very well this season by Mourinho, because I think Pogba deserves to be dropped after that Brighton result. So if Pogba felt humiliated by being subbed off against Spurs, well, I've got to defend Mourinho. At times, Pogba's performances have been shocking. So unless there's something going on behind the scenes where they've had a big fallout, if it's to do with being subbed off in games, I'm sorry, stop being a big time Charlie, Paul, and get your hands down and start, feet down on the floor and start putting some effort into a United shirt. Shaw's turned his career round with hard work, says Manuju Moore. Pogba, take note and pull your socks up. Good point. Raiola is a low energy slime ball fueled by money, says Alec Ducasse. I'm a fan of Pogba, but if we want to go, let him go. We don't need negativity at the club. Well, ultimately, Josh Peters is right there. If this doesn't work out if this isn't going to work out, you've got to go club first. But I still hope that this can be turned around. I mean, Adil says sell him and buy Milinkovic-Savic. There's a big difference between Paul Pogba and Milinkovic-Savic. Paul Pogba on his day is better than Milinkovic-Savic, but there's not a lot of difference between Milinkovic-Savic and the Pogba that we get at United. There isn't a lot of difference. Milinkovic-Savic is far more consistent and putting in better performances week in, week out for Lazio than Pogba is for United. But the thing about Pogba will be threefold, really. One, the talent that we're not getting. If he goes elsewhere and gets it, does it, which he probably would do in an easier league in La Liga, would be like, why didn't it work out at United? Two, just what is Pogba's relation? What is Pogba's issue? Why is he like this? And three, how embarrassing to sell him twice. He was part of our youth setup. We let him go for nothing. We bought him back for a world record transfer fee, and then we're going to let him go again. It's just, it would be the perfect example in footballing terms of why you never go back. If it fails with Pogba this time, I think you never go back, because It's like people saying, should we get Memphis back from France? No, I don't think you should ever go back. And Pogba, to be honest with you, should we have gone back? 90 million quid. Where else could we have spent that money? I don't know. Hopefully he can turn it around though, because I will never stop saying this. Paul Pogba's one of the only midfielders in the world who, when he gets the ball in midfield, he can run past his midfielder. And when he's done that, there's so much space to exploit. He's one of the best in the world at doing it and one of the few midfielders who can. Unfortunately, United, he never gets the freedom to do it. It's like he's not allowed to do it or doesn't want to do it. And to see him going to another team and doing that would be really, really sad. Mark, Pogba is not for the Premier League, says Ila Sabajan. Matthew, are you Pog in or Pog by? Says Yupu Yupu. What's he done, Mark? Not a lot. One good game in 4 games. He's got to produce his talent, says Paul Cap. I agree with that. Pogba was a 6 out of 10 against Burnley, and the status of a player doesn't mean much when they are in poor form. We need to punish them if they're making stupid quotes, says Matthew McFadden. That's a very interesting point there. Would you fine Paul Pogba for what he said? And as I read it again, my future is currently at Manchester United. I still have a contract. I'm playing there at the moment, but who knows what will happen in the next few months. I doubt you could fine him off those words, but they're certainly very, as I said, inflammatory and disrespectful, and it does cause a problem. But he shouldn't be saying stuff like that. But I wish I'd said it a few days ago. I've said it so many times. What always happens on the international breaks, you've got a lot of your players away from home, and they start making, they get interviewed, and they should say is, I'm only going to talk about France. I'm not talking about Manchester United. It's very, very, very easy. We can talk about things in the media, but when a player comes out with a quote like that, there's no grey area. There is no grey area. It's very, very much hinting that he could leave Manchester United if things don't improve, which in itself could irritate fans, because they'll be like, if things don't improve, you're going to go. How's about you kick yourself up the arse and start improving yourself? Because I think that is the big thing. It is the big thing. Forgetting these quotes and forgetting any potential issue between Mourinho and Pogba, the reality is, I love Paul Pogba. I think he's a great player, but he doesn't play great for Manchester United anywhere near enough. And that's him. That's his issue. So if he's unhappy about his surroundings, are those things the things that are stopping him playing football on a pitch? They shouldn't be. So realistically, the onus is on Pogba. You're the one who's got to produce on the pitch. Terminate his contract, says Arrow. I don't think we'll be doing that. I don't think we'll do that. But I want them to resolve it. I do want them to resolve it. I just realised we're back in the old retro United Stand studio. This is the thing I used to use. It's just pictures on the wall. So I just, if you like it, drop a like on it. I think sometimes it's just nice just to be a little bit out of the green screen sort of studios and just doing it a little bit natural. So if you like it, drop a like on the video. Some people will have never seen this setup before. It was the original United Stand setup, as you can see with the pictures there that I printed off with my own printer. But please do drop a like on the video if you like it, because I'm more than happy to do it more often. It was just because I wanted to get a quick video up, because I'm meant to be doing my FIFA stream in, I was meant to do it at 1 o'clock, so I'm going to have to start in about 10 minutes. But Pogba is still upset that Griezmann didn't come. Says John Shaw. I think he told Griezmann not to come, to be honest. I read that situation differently. That said, Jamie, there is going to be FIFA. I'm going to do that at about 1:30, so in about 10 minutes. Just very quickly out that, I'll just shout it out. Goldbridge live stream is my channel. I'm doing a Mourinho versus Goldbridge FIFA challenge at the moment. I'm halfway through the season and I'm about 6 points behind Mourinho, so I've got a motor on this next stream. But it's a good laugh. We're live, playing FIFA, a bit of interaction. So if you've not gone on it, make sure you drop a subscribe and get watching it. But Dia says, what a great background. I'm glad some people like it. If I was the CEO, says AJ Malone, I would ask Pogba if he wants to go or stay. If he wants to go, off to the under-23s until January and Jose out. You had me there, AJ. I was like, well, that's really good. But why's Jose got to go as well with Pogba? Well, surely you would be backing Mourinho if you chuck Pogba into the under-23s. Anyway, Goldbridge will be back on FIFA and back with a vengeance. None of that. I've got to do well, Matthew. It's do or die, really. We're back at 8 o'clock tonight. I think we're doing a Skype show tonight, so I'm looking forward to that. But please do drop a like on the video if you like the background, because, looking at it, I quite like it. It's quite nice just to be in a natural surrounding, but with that obvious United thing going on. So let me know your thoughts. I'll speak to you all very soon. If you're going to join me on FIFA, it's the Goldbridge live stream. But if you're not watching live or you are watching live, Really want you to get your comments in below. I'm going to be coming back in about half an hour and reading some of the comments, interacting with them. What's your thoughts on this? In a sentence, my thoughts are, I just want them to resolve it. I want Pogba to stop talking about stuff like that disrespects the club and himself and Mourinho. I want Mourinho to sort it out with Pogba, and I want to see the best Paul Pogba. We can talk about selling people and replacing people, but I want to see the best Paul Pogba. He is a Manchester United player right now. Why sell him to get someone else in? Let him go and do what he wants. We take a risk on someone else. We've got Pogba. Let's get the best out of him. Let's not turn on him yet. I think his comments are silly, but let's not turn on him yet, is my feeling. Obviously, you're going to have your own, and that was a lot longer than a sentence. Thanks for watching. See you later. Goldbridge live stream, 10 minutes, or 8 o'clock tonight.